Hello and welcome. Today I am going to have the pleasure of talking with Dr. Crystal Dawn Silas, who is a functional medicine, family, and emergency physician who infuses integrative and botanical medicines into her healing modalities. I am Bevin Clare, your host for today, and welcome, Crystal Dawn.
Hello, Bevin. It's a joy to get to meet you and to be invited to be here on your platform. Thank you.
Thank you. And I feel like I should point out that I have this fancy field, but this is like a virtual background, but you are actually in the woods doing this right now.
I am in the woods and I can look over my shoulder and see the yellow dock and the plantain and the St. John's wort and many other medicinal herbs here. So there's mullein and chicory. It's a fest. It's an herbal fest.
I love it. I love it. I know we should all do this surrounded by all of our plant friends. So so you wear lots of hats. Will you tell me about some of these hats that you wear?
So I am a family medicine physician, board certified in family medicine. I've been choosing to work in the emergency department mostly. That's how I support myself. Gives me a lot of freedom and flexibility. I'm an herbalist. I started studying herbalism immediately after I finished my residency. And that took me to functional medicine and Ayurveda. I'm a mother. I am a world nomad. I am a sister and a daughter and a grandmother and a beneficial presence on this planet. So,
Mm, absolutely. In so many ways. So you mentioned that you support yourself as a emergency department physician. Do you have any chances to integrate your knowledge as an herbalist or your philosophy? I'm sure you're not bringing a lot of herbs in there, but how does that serve you in there?
um, it served me more in primary care.
Okay. Tell us about
Um,
that.
and it serves in emergency medicine when someone is coming in because of an exacerbation of a chronic condition, often, or even in some acute conditions. Um, when I finished my residency in family medicine, it was clear to me that I had not been taught all there was about healing. I kept feeling
Mm,
like something was missing. And I did not quite completely buy into the allopathic concept that every dis-ease was a deficiency of a prescription medicine.
mhm.
And so I had and then also I said, so essentially, if all the pharmacies just disappeared one day, could I still be a medicine woman? Because I want to be a true medicine woman. And
Mm,
that took me to herbalism. And I called up my first apprenticeship and talked to them over the phone. And the energy, the positive energy, and the sistership, and the sense of camaraderie. It was a breath of fresh air compared to the sometimes competitiveness that I had experienced in traditional allopathic
mm.
medicines. So I signed up sight unseen for my first herbal apprenticeship and then
Wow.
did about two or three more afterwards before finding my way to study some Ayurveda and also functional medicine. Yeah.
So you mentioned it's useful when you're doing primary care medicine. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody has their style, right? So what
Right.
is your style
Mm-hmm.
as an herbalist physician?
Right. So I um, I have found that often prescription medicines are not without their side effects, and the plants are less likely to have side effects. My style is all around creating, helping the clients to create a personal lifestyle for themselves
Mm-hmm.
that's in balance with, with and in alignment with who they were brought on this planet to be. And that includes a certain amount of cleansing and purifying. And with that, we need phytonutrients and a nutrient dense diet, and to abstain from some of the more conventionally grown fruits and vegetables, certainly the processed foods,
Mm-hmm.
and other things that we might need to give up. And herbal medicine, whether we're taking it in teas or whether we're taking it in food, is a great way to get these phytonutrients in that help to give them clarity, extra
Mm-hmm.
energy, and to diminish any inflammation in their body that could be leading to their chronic dis-ease.
Hmm. Nice. Right. I mean, herbal medicine is just that line between food and herbs really
Mm,
is very,
mm,
very fluid. So foods are just the best way to integrate a lot of these herbs to get that phytonutrient balance and anti-inflammatory piece. Like the herb food continuum is so fluid, and so whether it's teas or any of this, they're just super powered plants. So
yes,
it's fantastic.
yes, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
what are some of your favorite plants, things that you've recently interacted with? What are you in love with right now?
Oh my goodness. So the St. John's wort here is in bloom, and I walk every day while I'm here. I'm at a retreat center in Ithaca, New York, and I do a 4 mile hike through the woods every day. And so every day I'm coming across, I'm so pleased with my background in herbology because it helps the earth to come alive. And it's
Hmm.
like I'm open to her. And every day I go on the same walk and she reveals something new to me. So
Wow.
the St. John's wort, I've been coming here for years and I expect her to be there, but she's always in these different places. You know, she kind of likes to grow where things have been recently disturbed. So, dug up where the earth has been disturbed. And to me, it's just magic to be able to pick her, to then put her in the oil and watch the oil turn red. I just love that. And to create the salves and body balms and things of that sort. There's yellow dock here, the root, which is growing everywhere here. Um, let's see, the chicory,
Uh-huh.
because I need to kind of I'm not a huge I'm watching my caffeine intake, and
Mhm.
I'm realizing that perhaps it's not my best friend like I thought for so many
Mm.
years. So my I'm not ready to give it up completely, but I am willing to consider roasting chicory and having half coffee beans and half chicory as a way to get off of to get that ritual of that hot aromatic earthy beverage in the morning. I'm not ready to give that up, but and then I can take in all the anti-inflammatory and effects of the phytonutrients within the chicory root as well. So yeah. Who else
Nice.
is here? Plantain is here. Yeah.
I know you don't want to forget any of them or yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
oh, that's nice. All those simple herbs and that call to just integrate them into your life in that way. That's so nice that you can be up there. So, what do people think that you're at this retreat center, you're gathering these things, you're making this red medicine out of yellow flowers. It's are people wondering what's happening or are they just
Yeah,
into it?
they're all into what am I doing? It's so funny.
I love
Like,
it.
don't you have a life of your own to manage? No, I'm joking. All right, I think that. But then I explain because people
Right.
want to know.
They
People
do.
want to know. They want to be empowered and there is when I let them know that this is medicine, because they know I'm a medical doctor, so they know they can ask me about anything and I can meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
And it takes a certain amount of personal empowerment often for people to step over into herbs because
Hmm.
it works synergistically with making changes in your lifestyle and making changes in your thought process and opening yourself up more to the environment. And you know, there's that connection. Our well-being is is intertwined with the well-being of the earth.
Hmm.
And you see that even it's more apparent that our healing depends on the healing of the earth. And when you are able to be out in nature, take your walk, or be in your garden, and to pick from the fruits of the earth and to imbibe that, she helps us, the plant allies help us to open up more and more into what our role is here as stewards of this earth and taking a stand for her well-being, um, realizing that she gives us food, she gives us shelter and oxygen and air. With every breath we take, we're exchanging oxygen with the plants and the trees and the herbs and, you know, um, the green chlorophyll-loving life forms that we share this earth with. We're exchanging, we're exhaling our carbon, we're exhaling our carbon dioxide and inhaling their oxygen and exchanging molecules with them in each and every breath. And when
Mm.
we ingest them also, I think it opens us up more to what our role is here as stewards of this earth. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's almost no more intimate image than exchanging breath with something, you know,
Mm.
and that's what we're doing with these plants. I mean, they're breathing in what we breathe out, we're breathing in what they breathe out, and I
Mhm.
love that.
We're
Yeah,
breathing in their off gassing and they're
yeah,
breathing in our off gassing, and it's a symbiosis.
it is.
It's a symbiosis, yeah.
Yeah, I love that, and that just that the longevity of all of these concepts of this connection. So speaking of that, if you think about your ancestors
Hmm.
and your work as an herbalist, you know, what is different or adapted or modern about your herbal work that you would love to share with your ancestors? Like you could travel through time and be like, check this out. What would they be excited about?
You know, I did my ancestry check. I'm American born, and so were my parents, and so were my grandparents. But I did my ancestry check and found out that I am 74% from West Africa. And of that, most predominant is like the Nigerian heritage. But
Mhm.
there's also people there from Ghana and Sierra Leone and Guinea and many other wonderful, wonderful African nations there in the South and West Coast of Africa. The Yoruba, I'm 30% Nigerian, and they have a tribe, the Yorubas, whose the Yoruba herbalism was well known throughout all of Western Africa. And their teaching stemmed from the Ifa traditions, which is written about in texts that were 4,000 years old. And they combined um, um, a sense of spirituality and taking spiritual baths and dance and prayer and uh, the the herbal the herbs to strengthen the body, to strengthen the soul, so that you were resistant to dis-ease. And it's funny, but I believe that's what took me into herbalism, was that
Mhm.
sense of how do we get people so that they are resistant to
Mhm.
dis-ease? How
Mhm.
do we put them into healthcare and not into crisis care? Because I often feel that by the time you come to see me in the emergency department, or even in the clinic as a family physician, that you're in crisis care. You've started to have symptoms that have alarmed you. And
Mhm.
so, and so that blending of the science and philosophy and herbal lore that the Yoruba's herbologists did, I just found my way to it naturally.
Hmm.
So intuitively, so to
Hmm.
speak. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I would
So,
want to go back and have them show me. I'm not
right.
certain I have a whole lot to show them.
Okay, so let's change that question then a little bit, because I mean, it sounds like you connect so strongly with receiving, and that, you don't want to, like, you don't, at this point, there's just so much gift coming from them to you. So let's say the Yoruba have like a magical looking glass. It's like a little pond, and they're gazing into
Uh-huh.
this pond, and they can see you. The
Mhm.
future.
Mhm.
Their lineage, that they're seeing you go through your day-to-day life and do all your things. What do you think they think
Mhm.
about what it looks like to be you, now, especially as an herbalist
Mhm.
medicine person?
Mhm.
What do you think they're scratching their
Mhm.
head about, or what do you think they're like,
Mhm.
wow?
Mhm. 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 I think that they are watching. I have often heard them, especially in my early years of training, but even now, I think they are cheering me on. I think that they often don't quite understand it, but but then they but then they do get it. They do get it. So I might, while my prayer might look different than theirs, while the way in which I prepare my medicinal herbs might look different, my dance might be different, I think they still recognize it as
Hmm.
rooted in their own, and that they applaud that.
Mm.
Um, let's see. I think that, I mean, I'm a physician, so I
Mm.
have many things in my toolbox. I don't have to reach just for herbs. I often
Mhm.
choose to. But my first thing I like to reach for is actually that people kind of abstain from that which is making them sick.
Mhm.
And I think my ancestors would be very proud of that
Mm.
concept.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
because often, so are you willing to give up that which is causing your symptoms? I mean, that's
Mm.
my first question that I
Mhm.
often ask
Mm.
before I even introduce the herbs and the plants. Because if you're still living this toxic lifestyle,
Right.
then any herb I give you, any prescription medicine I give you is like throwing a tic tac at a raging inflammatory elephant, and it's not going to make much of a difference. But if
Right.
you're, but if we can have a partnership where I can empower you to make healthy choices and to support you as you give up things that might have brought you immediate comfort, but in the long term are contributing to your dis-ease, and then we can bring in some herbs, we can bring in some meditation, we can bring in a like dance and cultivating your sense of what your work is, what your dharma is, what are your gifts here on this earth to be offered to, so that you are doing that for your
Mm.
for supporting yourself. Then I believe that dis-ease will diminish, and I think that the ancestors would nod their heads in satisfaction and pride at that
Mm.
approach and great
Mm.
respect.
I think so too. Yeah, that's beautiful. They yeah, resonate strongly with that. I think they'd also probably wonder
Mm-hmm.
where you were
Yeah.
getting those cardboard boxes that randomly appeared with herbs in them. They'd probably be like, we want those. How did you harvest those and get
I
them in a
see
box
what you're
out of
saying.
the box?
Interesting. Yes, yes. I'm thinking of myself wild crafting, but you're right. I don't always have to do that. And I don't always have to make my own St. John's wort oil, do I? I could
Right.
just
Right.
I could just order it already in a tincture form if
Yeah.
I want to.
They're like,
I have more choices, don't I? I know. Hmm.
hmm. So if you fast
Oh.
forwarded back from those ancestor times, and you just met your younger before you found out some of your ancestry or lineage, or even before you went down this path of herbal medicine, what would you share with your younger self? What message would you like to give that
Mm.
younger self?
Hmm. Well, I want to say that I sometimes believe that I did time travel and give
Mm-hmm.
messages to my younger self, because there were times when I felt inexplicably called to take a path that was not well traveled by many of my colleagues in medical school. And yet I had a strong sense that this was my path,
Mm-hmm.
and stepped out on faith with that. So I
Mm-hmm.
would tell her to follow her intuition,
Mm-hmm.
that I would tell her to explore ways of healing not just the body but also the earth, and combine them whenever possible.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell her to trust in her instincts.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell her to relax a little bit, and because she was so young and she wanted to be grown, and people just wouldn't take her seriously, and
Mm-hmm.
so she had a little bit of
Right.
angst, maybe a little chip on her shoulder, So I would tell her it's coming. It's coming. You're just a 20 something, and you're dealing in a world with people who are my age now. And so if they don't always give you the eye contact that you feel, it's
Mm.
okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Just relax with some of that angst, and yeah, and
20-year-olds love
explore
being
that
told to
path of
relax.
herbs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I would probably have told her to eat less sugar when she was studying.
Right?
That she could probably remember a lot better if she wasn't, and to
Right.
drink more herbal tea,
There you go.
more ginkgo biloba, and more rosemary, more chamomile,
I know the
to
wisdom
just
looking
healing
back,
her
right?
angst.
Yep. Yep. I love that.
Mm. Take more hot baths, more hot herbal baths,
I
more time in nature.
I don't even know you that well, but I can just imagine that if you came back and told your 20-year-old self to chill out, that it wouldn't go very well. I could just imagine. You'd be like, no, I'm not
I
going to
got
chill
this.
out.
I got this.
You
Got this.
kidding
We got
me?
things to do. I got the 7-year plan. I'll
Yeah,
chill out when that's done.
exactly.
Year
Exactly. Yeah.
plan. Chill
Right.
out when that's done. And that's what she did.
And now
What
you're at
she
a
did.
retreat center. So it's perfect.
And
So
now, yeah.
and now, yeah. So the world needs more herbalists. I mean, no doubt. Nobody's going to argue. Oh, some people might argue with it. You and I aren't going to argue with that. But
Mm-hmm.
how do you think our roles as herbalists will grow and change? Especially from the perspective of a physician, also. Um, where do you want to
Mm-hmm.
see herbalists, and what do you think's possible?
Mm-hmm. Mm. I alluded to some of this earlier. I think we as herbalists are by nature activists. We are by nature protectors of the earth, protectors of the plant allies, protectors of the ecosystem, protectors of the biodiversity, protectors of the cultural diversities. Um, and we understand that our healing and our well-being is intertwined with the healing and the well-being of Gaia, of planet Earth, of the mother. And we can often we have that far-seeing vision where we could see a lot, where we might be able to discern um, that the earth is in crisis. And
Mm-hmm.
not only is she in crisis, but humanity and our state of mind and our state of consciousness um, is in crisis also. And which came first?
Mm-hmm.
Which came first?
Mm-hmm.
And so the healing of ourselves and our consciousness towards tolerance and cooperation and a respect for diversity comes also with the respect for the diversity of the earth and the
Mm,
plants throughout all of her biospheres and systems.
mm,
So, yeah, we need more herbalists because
mhm.
we can see the big picture when it comes to healing.
Yeah, I love that. I One of my favorite things about being in herbalism is the intervention of the herbalist. When people think about
Mm,
herbalism, they think about the herbs. And I think the herbs are great,
mhm,
but I love the
mhm,
herbalists. And I think that they're just
mhm. This
powerful
is my,
in that own
this is
way.
Pachamama healing you,
Right,
not some pharmaceutical, not
right.
something made in a lab. This is your mother
Mm,
healing you.
mm, mm. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah,
Mhm.
we definitely need some
Mm.
healing from our mothers right now. What a time to
Mm.
talk about that.
Mm.
So we
This
know
is
a lot
Mother
about
Earth
where you've
healing you, and she
been.
needs some healing from us too.
She
So
needs a lot
I'm
of
sorry.
healing from
Go ahead.
us.
She needs
No,
some
I
healing
mean,
from us.
I know we're both just,
Mhm.
yeah, yes. So what's
But
next
I
for
think
you?
there's an aha. What's next for me? So, my goodness, there is. I am on taking a break last month and this month from emergency medicine.
Mhm.
I am going to reimagine where I want to go next. So,
Mm,
you know, often with emergency medicine, even though it was the standard of care, I often felt like I was just putting a band-aid on a boil that really
mm,
needed to be lanced and drained and
mhm.
healed from the inside out, you know?
Yeah.
And so I am going to I'm going to create a healing modality that helps us to create lifestyles that are low in exposure to GMOs and pesticides and other toxins, physical and mental. We're going to use herbs. We're going to use food as medicine. We're going to use
Mm,
exercise. We're
mm,
going to use meditation. We're going to use all the ancient Yoruba
mm,
traditions that have been forgotten, and then some. We're going to combine it with Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, Western medicine,
mm,
and empower people, inform people, get the word out that that the core of well-being comes in our lifestyle choices.
mm.
It's in our hands as individuals, not necessarily in the hands of their physician. Um, um, Sometimes not even in the hands of their herbalists.
Mhm. Right.
It's literally up to them to make the choices on a on a daily basis as to how much movement, how much prayer, how much meditation, how much nutrient dense food that they're going to choose to consume. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm
Mm.
headed. Stay tuned.
I know that's really exciting. I hope that we can chat once some of that is being birthed or has been birthed and you're ready to share some of the details because I think it sounds
I
like
would
what the
like
world
that.
needs and I'd love to hear about it.
I would like that.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you so
Thank you,
much for your
Bevin.
time today. It's been a pleasure and I hope that you get to enjoy the rest of your retreat. It's so exciting.
Hooray for us. Thank you for inviting me, Bevin. I know you do some great work as a naturopath. And so you were the right one to be chosen to do the interviews. Your insights um, provoke healing in all of us. So thank you, dear sister.
Thank you so much.